Hello, fifth grade. Today is Thursday, October 15th. Today in class, we tried to get to number 2. We didn't quite get there. It ended up being an assignment. Mostly all we got to today was making revisions to our next scene from The Secret Garden. And I'll talk to you about that in just a minute. But number 2, the guided reading is what you have on your HMH page. Some of you have a guided reading like planning a city. And since I didn't have time in class to get to it today, I did assign students to spend their 20 minutes of reading time tonight, or however many minutes it takes you to read whatever it is you have for a leveled reader. I believe, Miss Melina, yours is this planning a city. And it is a short text that I think you might get done in 20 minutes. And then today, hopefully, you probably not going to have time to watch this before I see you, but I'm going to have you read aloud to me. And then I'm also missing a couple other students in 5th grade. And so if I don't see you tomorrow, then maybe the next, or if I don't see you on Monday, maybe next Tuesday, you will be reading some of yours aloud to me too. But Melina, I know for sure, I'm almost positive anyway, this one is yours. And so this is what I expect you to read for homework tonight. Just do the best you can, get through it once. We are going to read it more than once. And then the other part of your assignment is to study your spelling. You can use Spelling City for that. Oops, that's not the right day. Here's the right day. You can use Spelling City for that. Be ready for your test tomorrow, please. And make sure that if you are not here tomorrow that you send me your test right away so I don't forget to get it in the grade book. That being said, let's jump into this part. So let's pretend that yesterday I shared my writing with a classmate, and here's my writing. I said, for my next scene, I said, the next morning, Mary went back to the garden. She turned the key and slowly pushed open the door. She was amazed to find that the garden no longer looked all quite dead. Now it was all quite dead except for one rose plant that had one tiny rose bud about to bloom. She walked over to the plant and whispered softly, "You are as bright as the morning sun." Then, right before her eyes, the flower bloomed, pinker and brighter than a tantrum-throwing 3-year-old's cheeks. And that's all the farther I got. You should have a beginning and a middle and an end in yours. I kind of have a beginning and a middle. I need to say what happens with the rest of the garden if she keeps whispering to all the plants. But let's pretend like I shared that yesterday and I got some feedback from my classmates. I had one student say they liked, let's see, how do I get to the second column? One student liked my hyphenated modifier here. I'm just going to highlight that part. One friend said they liked that part that's in yellow. And I had another friend who said they wanted to know more about why the bud bloomed when she whispered. And so I take those pieces of information and I'm going to use that today to revise my writing. So I know that my readers like it when I put a hyphenated modifier in there. So is there anything else? Is there any other nouns I could describe in a different way? Let's see. The next morning, Mary. I could say something about Mary. Is she really tired? Did she stay up all night thinking about the garden? I could say the next morning, sleep. Let's see, how do I want to say it? Next morning, awake all night. And I haven't taught you guys how to do hyphenated modifiers yet, but I will. Awake all night, Mary. awake all night, dreaming about the oopsie daisy, put in the rest of these, about the garden. Mary went back to discover more about the garden. Yeah. So I just took this sentence and somebody said they liked my hyphenated modifier, so I decided, hey, I could put another hyphenated modifier in there to talk about Mary. So I took this sentence and I revised it to look like this because I wanted to add in another one of these because my friend said they liked it. My friend also said they wanted to know more about why the bud bloomed when she whispered. So I'm going to come down here to this part where it says she walked over to the plant and whispered softly, "You're as bright as the morning sun." And then the flower bloomed. And so maybe down here, so you're doing this on a piece of lined paper. I'm trying to show you on the computer. So down here, I would add in, maybe after I get done saying, then right before her eyes, it bloomed brighter and pinker than a tantrum throwing 3-year-old's cheeks. Then I could add in, you see, oopsie daisies. I don't want that to be that color. I'll just make it yellow. You see, Mary has a magic touch. It was passed down to her through her mother's side. I don't know. I can make up whatever I want there, but I need to add in more information there because my person said they wanted to know more about that. And then your final assignment for this is revise. And I'm sorry, you guys did not have to write on a half a sheet of paper this time. I just did it because I knew I was revising today. So, but make a note of anything else you want to add in to make your writing more interesting. And then you need to make a final draft and turn it in tomorrow. That means I go back in and I take my revisions and I put them in the text where I want them to be. You can handwrite this if you want to, but if you are an online learner, it's probably just as easy for you to write this in a Google Doc. The tower's about to die. Put this in a Google Doc for me so it's easier for me to see than handwriting on an essay. Did I make it? Yes, I did. So it's almost 1 o'clock and I'll be seeing you shortly in a Zoom or in a Google Meet. Send me email me questions tonight if you have questions about how to do this, but basically you just take whatever you wrote as your first draft and you are writing some notes, some things to add in to make your writing clearer and better, and then the final thing is to take those notes and put them into a final draft of writing, and that final draft gets sent into me tomorrow. I'll talk to you more at the meet. See ya.